Okay, folks, welcome back. I was going to try to do a video on Sunday, but the new enrollments for my final mentorship for 2021, between that and my holiday schedule at home, were just too much for me to find my way to YouTube. And I tried to do something last night, and still, the mentorship horde that's trying to come in was a little too much for me for administrative responsibility. So I appreciate your patience while we wait for the next dose of ICT. I have two videos today, so it'll be this one here and then one specifically for those that are trying to enroll in the mentorship. So that second one after this one, I'll put it in the title that it's only for mentorship enrollment, so that way you don't waste your time if you're not interested in doing it. That way you're not looking at anything that has nothing that pertains to you because you just want to be watching YouTube videos, and that's fine. But I have to communicate to everyone on a larger scale, so that video will serve that purpose. Okay, but for the technical stuff, the voodoo, if you will be in this one. Right. So I want to start it off with, I get a lot of flack from people that don't like me because I'm very assertive and sometimes blunt. Most of the time I'm blunt, let's be honest, Michael. The delivery of the things I try to say may come across as arrogant. And it's not arrogant, it's just a matter of fact. So sometimes that might rub the viewer or someone new that comes to my channel and they think, well, this guy's full of himself. I don't have time for this. He's egotistical. I'm not going to learn from someone like that. I'm just speaking with confidence of almost 3 decades. So when I say things like that, it really gets under the skin of people that can't trade well or try to operate services. And I always constantly point to everyone else and say, these are the things that I want other educators to do. And you don't see it. You see all these people with these 100,000 plus followers on Instagram, YouTube, and they all talk a game like, oh, I could trade, I got sniper entry, I got this, I got smart money, that, and they never showcase it. Now they'll show you an MT4 screenshot of a trade that was already opened. Okay, in other words, a trade that was already opened. You didn't see the execution. You don't see the logic behind their trade. You don't know what's going on between their ears. Okay, so you don't know the internal dialogue. Nothing. You just see, here's a trade that I took and I'm in. Now that it looks like it's profitable, I'm going to show it to you. Because the attention span of the majority of people watching these type of individuals is so small that if they just throw a flash of something on the screen, right away they think, well, this guy or girl or whatever you want to identify yourself with these days, that person is a real crackerjack, someone that just really is a mover and shaker. They know what they're doing. They're smart money. And I don't have to do the things that I do here. Okay, I don't need to be doing this YouTube channel. I do ads on my YouTube, less than I would require to live on. And I don't require mentorship. So you get a lot of people on the internet, they'll say things about me because they're trying to discredit me. And there's a lot of trolls that are doing that. But there's also 2 old friends of mine. And no, I'm not talking about anybody that you might know. They are really ramping up the efforts on me not doing what I'm doing. And that's one of the other reasons why I'm stopping the mentorship, because you don't know the personal side of me doing this. You don't know the adversities that I have to endure and what I have endured all this time. Every single time I put a new video series up over the years on this YouTube channel, my old friends tapped me and said, careful what you're doing. So I want you to know this doesn't come free. You get the opportunity to sit down and watch these videos, and it just consumes the time and your attention for the moment. I don't have that luxury. Okay, so this is one of the other reasons why I want to take a step back after I finish this group that I'm working with that's coming in and finalize all my lessons. I'm going to be able to talk freely in my private community. Now, it does not mean that my YouTube channel will go away. It just means that the things that I talk about on YouTube will just be specifically dealing with the things I've already talked about on YouTube, and that's it. The other folks, the trolls, okay, the people out there that have their own little mini mentorships that are just parroting what I say, and they're hoping that you don't find me, because I'm the goose that lays golden eggs. It just keeps laying them. So if they all point to me, because that's why they can't give credit. They can't give credit to me because to do so takes them right to this YouTube channel. And then this YouTube channel blows their mentorship, selling things and subscriptions. They're going to keep you on a month by month. I don't do that. I could, but I don't. I want people to succeed. And I want those individuals, I don't care who you are, okay, all these reviewers out there that want to do reviews of me, I want to see you do what I'm showing you in this video, okay? Because there is absolutely no one on YouTube, not one person on YouTube that's going to be able to do what I'm going to show you here. The platform I'm using here is tradingview.com. It uses this little feature down here, paper trading. Now, right away, you're going to laugh, you're going to sneer, you're going to snicker. This guy's a demo baller. You're right. I've named myself that, and that term has been passed around forever. And I wear that crown gladly because it protects me. Okay, I'm not operating as a financial advisor. So if there's any validity to the things that I'm teaching or showcasing, then it'll be self-evident. But if I don't have any skill whatsoever, or if the things I teach don't really pan out to the degree of consistency over and over and over again, then why is it that this YouTube channel keeps growing? Why is it that there's tens of thousands of people interested in joining my mentorship? It's just nuts, okay? And there's so much evidence on this YouTube channel that all you have to do is investigate it. Just look at it and test it, which raises the question of this video. What am I going to cover? What am I showing? Obviously, we're looking at the Eurodollar here, and this is a 15-minute time frame. You can see it's moving up rather aggressively. I have people on the internet, on small little corners of the internet, okay, in third world countries, that are trying to make a name for themselves with my content, with my concepts, and they're trying to pretend that they can do this, and they're rooking people out of their money, trying to say that they can trade their accounts. I have no affiliation with these people. They may use my logo to lure people into their chat rooms and such. I have no affiliation with them. I don't bring people to brokers. I don't talk about brokers. I'm not an introducing broker. So I don't operate anything like a chat room. Okay, I don't do those types of things. There's a lot of people on Instagram that are pretending to be me, and they're rooking people out of their money as well. If you get pieces of my mentorship because someone's tried to play Robin Hood over the past 4 years or so, you don't have it. You might think you do, but you just have pieces. Just like you have pieces of the puzzle on this YouTube channel. They're all small little pieces. And when you look at them, you might think you robbed a bank. Like you got something over on me. Like you cracked this for free. And you didn't. There is so much that I have yet to unveil that even though that you might get excited because you see certain concepts, or you maybe watch this YouTube channel and you see things I've taught and you get really excited, you get giddy. And I know when there's a new follower on my YouTube channel because they're the ones that will send an email to me, and my staff will push it to me because I don't have the ability to go through all the emails every single day. It's just I get tens of thousands of emails and I can't keep up with it. It's just so many of them. And I'm honored. I'm privileged to be in this situation. So don't think that I'm making light of it. I'm absolutely tickled that everyone is starting to resonate with me in terms of what I teach. Now, you don't have to like me as a person because, I'm flawed. I'm human. But the things I teach, they're truth and they're undeniable. And I challenge every single person that comes to me to go through these lessons on this YouTube channel. And if you do, you will see all the proof that you would ever require. But yet there's still some out there on the fringe that just simply need to see, who is this guy ICT? Who does he think he is? Talking all this market maker stuff. He invented this smart money concepts. Well, I didn't say I invented smart money concepts. I'm the one that has authored the things that everybody runs around with calling smart money. This is how the market works, and you can't find it in books. You can't get it from Morrow, Steve Morrow, that's what I'm talking about. You're not going to beat this market maker. And the proof is I'm showing you new stuff all the time. And I have volumes of information in my head that I've yet to talk about. So when you sit down with someone like me, I don't run out of ideas or concepts or things to teach you to make you grow and develop as a trader. But there are some that aren't trolls that just simply want to see me execute. They want to see me outline something. They ask a lot of times, hey, how is it that you sit down in the morning? What do you see? How do you mark up your chart? How do you look for certain things? How do you frame the setup? All of that. So when I woke up this morning, I knew I owed you a video. Not that I'm obligated, folks. I'm not obligated to do anything on YouTube, but I love doing it. I love it. I'm hoping that once I get through this massive upload of information in my private mentorship, and I can start to relax a little bit more and spend a little bit more time doing the things I love. Not that I don't love teaching mentorship. It's just taxing. Very, very taxing. There's so many people involved in it now. It's hard for me to manage it. And truth be told, it's sucking the passion out of trading because it's a lot of work. It's a lot of different personalities all around the world, different varying stages of the development, and they all are volleying for my attention to answer their questions that they think are paramount. And I want you to watch this video, and maybe you've already gotten bored already and you're trying to fast forward and you're watching it twice the speed. I understand, okay? But the reason why I talk so much, okay, is not because I like the sound of my voice, because I actually don't like the sound of my voice. I actually sound like a younger man than I really am, which makes it sound like I'm not really experienced when I'm really experienced. I talk a lot because I'm already aware of the questions that are going to arise in your mind. Now, again, that might sound arrogant, but I've been doing this for almost 3 decades, and I just simply know the process of what a new viewer or reader of my content, if they come to me and they start watching a video, I already know if we sat down and I reviewed my own videos with you, like on YouTube, like if I watched the video that I produced and I kind of like talked about what I was saying there, I could sit and tell you what questions would arise because of what I said. And because of that, that's the reason why I talk so much, because you don't realize it because you're getting the benefit of me having quote unquote diarrhea of the mouth. I'm the mentor with the mouth. I can go on and on and on. And I never get tired. The only way I'm going to stop is if my wife taps me on the shoulder or I lose my voice. And they're the only reasons why I will stop, because something, takes me away from doing it. I could talk about this stuff for hours and never get bored. But the problem with this is there's viewers that come to this channel and they'll watch my videos and they'll say, this guy talks too much. I can't learn from him. And what you're saying is you're unteachable. It's not the student that's, above the delivery method of me. You're saying that you know everything. Just tell me what you want to answer for that particular moment. And that's arrogant. And it's falsely attributed. You've given yourself more credit than you deserve. Because if you're coming to someone with the expectation of learning something, a new skill, or greater understanding, and they have a lot more experience than you do, I'm giving of myself. I'm giving more than anybody else out there does. Anybody else out there, and they're never going to sit down with you and talk the way I talk to you. They're not going to care as much as I do about your success. I cared as much about your success before I did the mentorship than I do now. I didn't fall in love with successful stories from my students because I started charging. And I only started charging because other people were taking my content, and they're still doing it, folks. They're taking my free stuff on this YouTube channel that people don't know about, and they're selling it to people on Instagram, pretending to be me with my logo, and it's nonsense. I have probably saved more people in Africa from hunger in the last 4 years than anybody else on the planet because they're selling things that I produce, and most of it's for free. Now, I get it. People in this present world are struggling. Okay, they're struggling. They're trying to do whatever they can, and I'm a hot commodity. But you're not going to learn from pieces. You get a lot of insight by sitting under my wing. When I sit with my group, these are the things that I teach. Okay, I sit down and I give these individual concepts modularly, and I give theory and price action concepts that are all encompassing. So that way you're getting the entire spectrum of what's required to be a consistent trader. So if I talk a lot, it's because I'm trying to make sure that I fill in every gap that you're not paying attention to. Like when I say something, it'll spark a question or a doubt will arise in your mind. Now, many of you don't have a whole lot of that occurring, and my video sounds boring because I'm canceling any opportunity for your brain to raise a question because I'm giving you all of those extra things for free. So if I sat down and said, this is an optimal trade entry, this is where you buy, this is where your stop is, and you try to get your target right there, and that was it, you would feel cheated. You'd be like, why did you pick that one? And why are you holding on to the trade this long? Aren't you afraid it's going to turn around here? Aren't you afraid it's going to go here? Why did you choose to take this much off? You see what I'm saying? And when you take a step back and stop trying to be some spoiled little brat, because this generation, I'm going to tell you like it is, you are predominantly entitlement minded to a degree that I've never seen before. Like some of you actually believe that I'm obligated to help you for nothing, and I'm not. I love doing this, but when I get emails from people saying, you know, I think you're a jerk, you started charging. I got videos right here. It says that you don't need my money, but now you're out asking for money. No, I'm not asking for money. I'm saying, here's what I'm willing to do, but you're going to pay for it. Meanwhile, you can be profitable with the stuff I've taught here on YouTube. But the people that can't find profitability or consistency or moving towards consistency from the free content, then you shouldn't even join my mentorship, because you've already proven that you're lazy. Now, I can talk like this because I have the things to back it up. I have a community that understands this. If I started this YouTube channel and you didn't know who I was, and I talked like this, you'd turn me off right away. And some of you probably are doing it right now, turning me off. And that's fine. Good luck, good trading. Okay? But I'm telling you that the people that submit to the ideas and the process that I've outlined, they're the ones that get it. It's not that I have a secret group and I only teach the secret group the secret stuff. Okay? Everyone understands the things that I have introduced from this in this YouTube channel. But in the mentorship, I actually apply it. I use the logic to point to certain things occurring in the marketplace before it happens. And you see other people, they'll be on these little chat rooms. They'll say, you know, ICT doesn't talk about where to buy, where to sell. He just says where the market's going to go. Anybody could do that. I could do that. Well, why is it that nobody's doing it? I would love to sit down and watch people put their ass on the line. I would love to see it. I would love to see people do that. But you don't see that. You don't see it. Okay? You don't see anybody doing that on YouTube. They'll only talk about stuff on the safety of the left side of the chart. And you've been looking at this chart and listening to me jawbone for several minutes now, and there's arrows on here where it shows executions. Now, TradingView is not MT4. I don't have a way to rig this. If somebody out there can do that, I would love to see how it's done, because then I'll start doing it live. I don't need to do this recorded. I can do this absolutely live in front of everybody as a live stream on YouTube. I am not afraid of that. I'm not afraid of it. But there is this huge chasm between what I'm able to do and what I can see in the marketplace and what everybody else is doing out there. They're out there looking at their indicators. And you're going to see in this video me ringing in indicators. And that's blasphemy around here because indicators are a joke. I'm going to show you how the indicators can trip you up. Everything that I give in terms of dialogue is going to be typed out in TradingView. There's absolutely no way for me to go in and change the audio, overdub what I said that may be incorrectly said. It's all typed out, and you'll see the typos. You'll see me going in and fixing the typos after it's been there for a minute or two. You'll see me moving the box around. You'll see me open the dialog box and type it into the screen, and you can see it actually typing on the chart in TradingView. This is what you do not see from all of these yahoos out here, okay? These so-called young millionaires, these smart money players, okay? They do not know how to trade, folks. They don't. They don't know how to trade. They don't know how to execute. They don't know how to use a stop loss. They don't know how to manage a position. They cannot trade themselves out of a wet paper bag. Period. End of story. It's done. If that's arrogant to you, good day, sir. Good day, madam. I'm at the point where it just needs to be a yes or a no. You either believe or you don't. If you don't believe me, don't come back. Why put yourself through all that? Because I'm going to keep doing this kind of stuff. And I'm still going to be able to find trade setups. And I'm still going to be able to come here with examples. And I'm going to still be on the side of the marketplace that my own community knows about. And I've actually tipped my hand on YouTube. I told you where I said the dollar was going to go. I told you where the euro was going to go. How many times do I got to talk about it and it happens? How many times am I saying something and it doesn't happen? Exactly. Every time I come out publicly and I say something, it happens. I'm not looking at indicators, folks. I'm not looking at Wyckoff. I'm not looking at supply and demand. I'm not looking at Mr. Chris Laurie stuff, because that's all the stuff you're going to hear. You're going to hear, oh, he's ripped this off. He's ripped that off. No, actually, I haven't. Okay. I tell you, this is what it is. And then I use it. And then you got to be able to go back and find that somewhere else in these things that you're accusing me of, because you don't see it there, folks. I am the author of this stuff. I am the creator of these concepts. There's no books out there that teach this. I am the book. I'm living it in front of you. They're going to write books about me. And that sounds arrogant, I know. But there are going to be books written about the things that I'm making public. You are living in a Gann moment. You are living in a Livermore moment. You are living in a Wyckoff moment. And I know I just killed all the trolls with that. But it is what it is, folks. I've been sitting on this stuff for 20 years. I've known for 20 years I have what everybody else wants but doesn't know about. And all I'm asking you to do is sit back and enjoy the ride. Because I'm going to take you places you've never imagined. And you don't have to join the mentorship. So it's not a pitch for that. All you have to do is sit down and subscribe to this YouTube channel. And you'll have someone that absolutely knows what they're doing and loves the fact that you're trying to get here with me. I love it. I want you to have the view I have. I don't want you eating crumbs from my table. Okay? I don't want that. I want you setting your own table for your family and knowing that you can do this on your own. And you don't need me to hold your hand. But you all have to start somewhere. You have to start somewhere, and it has to be agreed upon that it's going to be hard. There's going to be a lot of adversity. It's going to take longer than you want it to, folks. It's going to take longer than you want. And it's okay. It's all part of it. If I was told it was going to take me 6 years to get it, I probably wouldn't have done it. I probably would have put it off multiple times until desperation would have set in, and I would have had to do it, because what was I going to be doing? Working the rest of my life? I wasn't going to have that. So think. What would you want to see? What would you want to see as evidence that someone can see a price chart and know before it happens before it happens with such a degree of precision that is undeniable. Wouldn't you want to see that? If you saw it, would it help you in your unbelief? Or would you need to have it every day? Because that's where the entitlement begins. For some of you, there are just always reaching for, yeah, but you didn't do this. Yeah, but you didn't do that. Yeah, but I'm here for free, aren't I? I'm right here, making myself available to you. The young man or the young woman that isn't paying me to join my mentorship. I know who you are. It's fine. I couldn't afford that stuff when I first started either. There's no shame in that. And for those individuals, I still provide content to this YouTube channel. I know you can't afford it. I know. But don't discount the things that I've already I've shown on this YouTube channel, because it's millionaire maker. And that sounds crazy, but it absolutely is. It is. But you just want it to be step 1, 2, 3, ABC, easy as that, and simple as that. And it's not going to work like that. Nothing will. Nothing will be like that. But I'm going to tell you something else. The things that you're learning from me, they're so high level, and it looks just like too many moving parts. And here's the thing. When people get pirated copies of my stuff, I'm in all of these chat rooms where they're at. And you see them all the time saying the same things. Can you help me understand what ICT said about this, that, and the other thing? Or, I don't understand this. They're all confused. They're absolutely confused. And the reason why, they don't have me holding their hand. That's mentorship. The videos, the lessons by themselves are nothing but just little cogs in the wheel. And that's why I did it that way. I designed it that particular way, because I know there's going to be people that are just going to say, you know what? I'm going to buy the course and I'm going to resell it. Or I'm going to buy the course and change the names and try to do my own mentorship. There's lots of them out there, folks. Lots of them out there. But they cannot do what I'm going to show you here. This is the litany test. Okay? This is the acid test. Can they do what I'm about to show you? Because they can't. They cannot do it. There's no doubt once you see it. If someone knows, look, it's like this. If Tiger Woods comes to your house, okay, and says, hey, look, you got a golf set, got any clubs I can use real quick? Let me show you something. Are you going to be in any position to doubt his ability to put that ball in the hole? No way. Absolutely not. Why? Because he's shown over and over and over again that he is a master on the green. Now, does he win every championship? Absolutely not. Does he make every ball in the hole every single time? No. But he's like the upper echelon of golf. And I don't even know why I'm talking about golf, because I can't stand it. No disrespect to the folks that do like it. So I'm rambling a little bit. And it's only because I've had no real outlet. I was wanting to talk to you guys on Sunday, but I couldn't get my time to do it. But like the last time when I owed you something, I gave you something I executed on. But I want you to know that there is a stark contrast to people that say they understand algorithmic trading. Because that's the new buzzword. Algorithm, IPTA, smart money, institutional. You're not institutional smart money unless you can outline it before it happens. Don't share screenshots of MT4 trades that are already open. Don't do that, because I'm not believing any of that, and neither should you. As soon as someone shows you an MT4 anything, stop. Say, excuse me, I appreciate your enthusiasm. In fact, I'm so excited that you're willing to share proof that I want to see you execute on TradingView and record the management from beginning to end. I want to see you do that. Because, folks, that's where the conversation will end. It'll be, no thanks, because I do that. I ask all these yahoos on YouTube, and I did it when I was on Instagram too, and none of them can do it. So why is it that they feel that they're justified in charging people money saying they know something, but they can't execute or outline it before it happens. And 90% of them don't even use stop losses, but they'll say, well, when you're on the right side of the marketplace, you don't really need a stop loss because the smart money doesn't use a stop loss. You know where they got that from? They got that from me, because large institutions, they don't have a stop loss because they're on both sides of the marketplace. They're hedging. See, that's the part they don't talk about. Because they don't know what they're saying. They're just hearing me say something and they'll parrot, and they don't have no idea why I said what I said. Think about it, folks. Wouldn't it be obvious? If they knew how to do it, they could do it and show you. Absolutely. Dismiss every doubt. Get rid of all of it. Push it aside. Say, look, I genuinely care about your opinion. I believe that I can do this. And here, let me prove it to you. Why isn't everyone out there willing to do that? But they're sure as hell willing to show you cars that they don't own. They're going to show you where they're vacationing at with their subscription fees. They'll show you that stuff. That's all you see. And it's all kinds of effort to do it. They'll show you the shoes they're wearing, the clothes they're buying, the watch they're having. But you never see them. Not one time. Not once. Just give me one. Okay? Then do all the cars and stuff you want to do out there. Clothes, all that business. But just give me the thing that we're supposed to believe you got that money from. Trading. Show me that. See, because it's funny. I got $100,000 cars, and none of you seen them. I have nice homes. I have nice stuff. I have a cologne collection, over $47,000 in cologne. Now, you see bottles once in a while, and I've shown some drawers of them in my drawer, in my collection. But you don't see me doing a whole lot of that. I just do it because I'm thumbing my nose at those individuals that do that. But what do? I show you what I can do. I prove concept. I teach concept that is found nowhere else. So you're in the right place if you want to learn from someone. I'm not an image hound. I spent more time on social media making fun of myself than anybody else could ever do to try to take me down. Because I'm content. I'm confident. I've acted like a cartoon for years, but in 2016, that's it. I changed my delivery. I stopped using the foul language. I stopped trying to do the WWF approach. And I just started giving the goods, delivering it. I'm ready for whatever challenges are laid in front of me, but they never materialize. And when I ask others, are they willing to do that? No. And they can't even do this. Simply sit down in front of a chart, mark it up before it happens, point to where it's going to go, why it's going there, what's the logic, what's the internal dialogue in the mind of that particular person. Now, because I type it out, it allows me to speed the video up. So obviously the time frame all this took place was a lot more than what you see here. But if I go into the video, like this is the raw video. This is the stuff behind the scenes. Okay, I compressed the long video down into 10 minutes. But all of this recording, all of this is me doing it as it happens. So you'll see all of this happen in the recording playback after me doing all this jawboning. But I compress it down to a time frame that I think is palatable. That means most of your attention spans aren't going to be willing to sit down and watch, an hour and a half, 2 hours, whatever it be, in terms of a playback video. It's just, that would be boring. So what I do is I compress it into a faster playback, and there's absolutely no way, because the time I printed that chart, and you can see it here, I have the annotations, all that stuff is here. This is the executions. The first scalings, all the other scalings. This is the time window when I said my targets would be met. You see all that outlined in the chart. I'm typing it all out in the box on TradingView. It's undeniable. You cannot wrestle with it. You can't argue with it, trolls. It is what it is. I know my business. I know how to make a market. I know how it's done. I know how it will be done, and no, it will not stop working. Absolutely not. It won't. There's no reason for you to be worrying about it. There's going to be problems in the future, probably in the near-term future, with liquidity. It may get crazy, volatile, and we might see some black swan events where the market just reprices aggressively to a level that you aren't prepared to see. But that's trading. It's happened before. And then when it goes back to normalcy, then the things that I teach are like Swiss timepiece precision. Now, when you watch something like this, or you look at this chart here and you say, okay, well, you got out of your trades here, and look, it went farther. My community knows where it's going. Oh, see, you're trying to do a sales pitch. No, I already know what you're thinking. I already know what you're raising up in your mind as a question. Oh, if he's so good, why didn't he hold on to it here? Well, here's the thing, folks. I try to teach by example, okay? And the things that I teach are modularly and conceptually. They can be plugged and played in different time frames. And this example today was more or less answering this plethora of requests for me to sit down and go to a fresh chart and mark it up and outline what I think is going to happen before it happens, not just record a trade and show me exiting. So I went through the process of sitting in front of the chart all morning during the New York session, waiting for the setup. I outlined everything. I drew everything out that you see here on this chart. All of this was done. Let me get that right there because that little bracket is driving me nuts. It's got to be where I want it. This thing right here. That's what living with OCD is like, folks. It's madness. So, but I give all of the dialogue, okay, and I type all that out. And obviously you can see I'm making another video here. So I'm not sitting down and doing all this stuff up for you. There's no way for me to go back and do all that annotation in the time span that it took for me to print a chart out and share it on my community tab. That's right over here. Okay. I posted this right on my community tab. You click on it and there's the timestamp right up here. Okay, 10:35 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And that's my ICT thing. And that's Bella in the background in case you can hear barking. I'm not going to be editing any of this out. But I want you to know that these things that I show here are absolutely taught on this YouTube channel. It's literally on this YouTube channel. So it's not me dangling, hey, you want to learn how to do this? Join my mentorship. Okay? What I'm saying is, if you want to do this, then pull up a chair, put an hour or two a day into a YouTube video that I put out, and study it. And don't just watch it like you're watching Netflix. Don't watch anything that I do without a notebook and pencil. Because I'm going to say things, it's going to cause you to have a concern or a question, and you want to record that and date it when you had that concern and where you had that concern arise from. What video, at what minute marker of that particular video. Okay? That's how you take useful notes, not just, I wonder why ICT uses the wick over the body when he looks at order blocks. Because I cover that in mentorship. Okay? But you'll also hear hints because I do sprinkle it around a little bit in the YouTube channel content. But in the mentorship, I take a specific subject or topic and I just go at it. Now, nothing is completely delivered on any concept yet, but I have hammered out a lot of content and concepts on this YouTube channel that by itself will put you in the winner's circle more times than any retail logic will. Speaking of retail logic, in the video you're going to see me making fun of people that think they understand what I do. And that is what you'll see here. This is, again, this is me showing you after the fact, but I did all these annotations live in the recording that you're going to see as I end the discussion part of this video. So this is the lecture part. This is the stuff that about 30% of you complain about. And that's the reason why that 30% isn't able to do what I teach. So therefore, I must suck. I'm a fraud. You're not teachable, okay? I'm giving you what every mentor out there should be doing. If they're charging money, they should be pouring themselves into you. And I empty myself out every single time I sit down with you. It's for your edification, not mine. I already know this. But when you see things like this and you say, oh, this is that Chris Laurie liquidity void that ICT ripped off and stole. Nope. Sorry. This is a sell-side imbalance, buy-side inefficiency. That's exactly what it is. Okay? That's the real term. That's the real thing. That's from the people at the top of the food chain in this industry. That's what it's called. Buy-side imbalance, sell-side inefficiency. That's when you have the reverse. That's like this. And that little imbalance right there. But what about when it goes up to this level, Michael? Isn't that a short? Because this mentor over here teaches that's what happens. I have another mentor that says this is a harmonic pattern. And it's a Fibonacci ratio. And it's going to be a run down to here. And it's going to run these equal lows that ICT teaches. And this is the sell to do it, right? Wrong. Wrong. And this is what I see in Telegram rooms, Discord channels, YouTube channels. These people are pretending, okay? They might have all the buzzwords on their chart, but they don't have the skill set behind them. And that's what I'm here to tell you, okay? You may not like it. It may piss you off. It may offend you. It may sound like arrogance, and you can't stand me. But it is what it is, folks. I'm here to protect the people that will fall victim to that. It's not, don't buy their stuff, buy mine. No, I'm saying don't buy their stuff, watch my free stuff, because it's better than theirs. Simple. All you have to do is compare and contrast and ask them to prove it. Because if they can do it, you'll see this type of evidence outlined in detail as it's unfolding. It'll already be in the chart, and that's what I show. All the things are typed out, and the things I'm looking for, the specific price levels. Like this order block here. What's the high of that candle right there? 1.1982 and 1 pipette. What's the low of that candle right there? 1.1982 and 0 pipettes. It's only off by 1 pipette. But this is the sensitivity there. What's the low on this down close candle, which is bullish order block? What's the low of that? 1.1973 and 0 pipettes. What's the low of this candle? 1.19730 pipettes. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. And you see me outline this very thing right here. I put these levels on there. I don't go just to the middle of the block and the high end. I give you the entire block. Oh. See, that's the stuff that you don't know, folks. I know when the order block's going to take up the entire range. And I know when it's going to use half the range. I know when it's going to go to the wick. I know when it's going to go to the body. I know all those things. But because there's so many yahoos out there, these 20-year-olds, that want to be ICT junior, but without any credit given to me, they want to be the ones that get credit for bringing it to the community. And I'm here to say, you aren't getting that. That's what makes me me. Now, you don't need that to be profitable. But I know the things that you'll never know, and I'm not going to teach that stuff because it's perfect. That's the part that makes me who I am and what I'm not allowed to teach you. Frankly, that's going to offend a lot of you. But I'm honest. I'm telling you, and I'm proving that I can see things that you're not going to be able to see. And when people come to me, I want them to understand it's not just about me credit, me glory. It's me, because then I say, I only got this because it was given to me by God through prayer, and that's the only reason why. Grace and mercy is how I got this. I did not get taught or sat down and say, okay, this is what's going to do. No, that's not what happened. This was all revelation. Like it literally, and it sounds for people that are atheists or people that don't believe in Christ, listen, I'm not here to argue with you. You can believe whatever you want to believe, but you're not going to argue with what I believe. And there's no way that I would learn this any other way. No other way. I had a very big volume, okay, of information laid in my hands. And the things that I was introduced with that, and it's not trading courses, it's not mentors, it's not people out there teaching, it's not Wyckoff, it's not, all these kids out there with these stupid ideas, they think they have me figured out, and they have no idea what they're talking about. Two individuals, Tobias and Parson, they're the two men. They're the two people. They don't teach. They don't trade. They're not in CNBC interviews. I don't meet with them. But that's who reached out to me. And the things that they revealed to me about the marketplace is diametrically opposed to everything that you're taught. And that's why my things work. My things challenge everything that's retail. And the people out there that don't like that, or they're jealous because I have something that they're not going to be able to do themselves or have access to, they try to discredit me. Now, my old friends are trying to discredit me as well. So I come here and I do things like this. Because once you get it and it's shared, people have it. It's not urban legend anymore. It's reality. And as nice as these two gentlemen were, they're not always pleasant. And there's things that, as a man, as a father, as a husband, I have to be mindful of. And I'll just say just that much. I know how far I can go, but they don't trust how far I will go. So there's always been, for the last 20 plus years, this balancing act I've had. And I have had multiple personalities online. I have been many different personalities online. Because I believe that people should be aware, and I have done that. I have been met with argumentative people. I've had people try to say that's nonsense. There is no algorithm. There is no real market maker. This because the common misnomer is the market maker is the dealer, and that's not what that is. When I say market maker, I'm specifically talking about the absolute beginning of price, where it comes from. Where's the origin of price? You ever sit back and ask yourself, where does that price come from? Like, is it just pulled out of thin air? No. It's controlled. It's delivered with an idea and plan behind it. This rally here that took place in Eurodollar, all of that was understood and expected by me. And you'll see it in the dialogue. I talk about things as the catalyst for it to happen. And I talk about how the counterparty in the marketplace, retail, are going to internalize what price is doing at that moment. And then it gets turned on them. Someone that works as a dealer, okay, they may refer to themselves, and an industry may also refer to them as a market maker. That is not a market maker. That is a dealer. Okay, that's a dealer. And I'm just going to say this. There's a lot of people out there who have a lot of faith in Steve Morrow's approach to trading. Steve Morrow's approach is a bloated version with indicators of my 1996 lecture notes on the daily range and the intraday turning points. And my beginning understanding of the weekly range. But that's it. You start adding indicators and moving averages, and you've completely created something that's nonsensical. Okay? And the idea that he teaches and promotes is that if you're trading with MT4, the market maker goes in there and hits this little switch and opens up the spread and gets your stop. I'm here to tell you, okay, for all you individuals out there that believe this guy is doing anything profitable, he cannot trade. He will not trade. He will not do what you're going to see me do here. I have challenged for, how many years has he been doing it? We're in 20. I know at least 5 years or so that I've been barking for him to disprove what he's doing. His indicators are the problem. 2, his entries are the second problem. When you're looking at beat the market maker stuff, you're buying it as it's going in the direction of your trade. And that's how also I know it's from my lecture notes, because that's the only strategy I was willing to teach at the time. Once the trade starts moving in your favor, and you contrast that with what I teach today, everything is at a precision entry point that is opposed to my trade direction. So market makers don't sit around with MT4 platforms and move the spread open and closed. They don't do that. The market maker is at the central bank. Okay? Years ago, before electronic trading took place, there used to be a group of men that sat around, and their job was to do that very thing. Deliver price. Period. I'm not going to go into the details as how they did that. Okay? But before electronic trading, that's exactly what happened. You could see a very small version of that inside the pits of futures trading. The people that were working the floor, they had key levels in their pad, their little notepad. They didn't have charts in their hands. They had numbers, raw numbers. So they could have the previous week's high and low, the previous trading day's high and low, previous session high and low. What did it do in New York yesterday? What did it do in London overnight? What did it do 3 days ago? There's a hint for you there. The ideas of market makers using anything MT4 is nonsensical. Okay, so when you see anything Steve Morrow, market maker, beat the market maker, all that kind of stuff, all that was and is just a contrived story around a narrative that existed with me, because I was offering $20,000 one-on-one sessions back in the 90s. I marketed it. It was me doing that, and the only twist of the story was it became $25,000 in his story. And that's going to sound nuts. It's going to sound like, oh, yeah, you're this and that. Listen, folks, I'm the one here proving it. I can show it. I mean, what do you want to see? I'll do it. You don't want to see euro? I'll do it with Aussie dollar. You want to see it in New Zealand dollar? I mean, it's not just this pair I'm good at. But it's funny when you can sit back and you watch all these people pretend, and they have all these little storylines, these made up narratives, okay, all this stuff. My next door neighbor was a pilot, and he was flying this market maker around, and he said, you know what, I really like you, kid, I'm going to give it to you for $20,000, but I'm retiring. And now he's dead, and he's free of his NDA, but you can't talk about who he is. Do you believe that? Do you really believe that? Because I got some indicators I could sell you. I know this isn't the kind of video you want from me, but this is what you get when I don't have an opportunity to vent. And when you see stuff online and you see the market maker this and the market maker that, or the things that are being promoted as smart money concepts, politely, don't go out there and troll. Like, I get people trolling me, and that's okay. I'll do it. But everyone else out there, as a trading community, I'm asking you to be polite, to be courteous to them, because they might do it, and you might get what you're looking for. But don't be argumentative or rude about it, because they can stand on the sideline and say, no, you're a jerk, I don't owe you anything, and then you give them an out. But if you respectfully approach them and you say, hey, look, I'm interested in the things you're saying, and approach that mentor with this, it would really mean a lot to me, and it'd be a good faith gesture if you could show a month of you outlining a particular currency or a market. It may not be Forex. It may be somebody that trades futures. But these things work in the futures market too, folks. So I don't need to do just Forex. I can do futures. I can do bonds. You name it, I can do it. But ask these individuals. Ask them very politely. It would mean a lot. And I would be so much more sold on the idea if you could do this and outline it before it happens. And if they can't do it, the argument would be this. Why? Why can't you do that? Because if you're really trying to sell something, or if you're trying to sell the idea that you're good at it, or if you know what's going to happen in the price, then you should have no problem. Because listen, folks, I have very little time. I am slammed with mentorship stuff, video production, emails. Like, I literally am way over my budget right now. But I'm the boss, so I can do that. But I can do this kind of stuff. You know what it cost me? A couple hours today, and still with me talking. It's just a little bit of time. And why am I willing to do it? Because I'm answering those people that have respectfully said, you know what, Michael, I've watched some of your YouTube videos, and I can see some of the trades that you did, but they were executed with an MT4. I watched you enter the trade using the MT4. I've seen you do it. I've seen the limit orders kick in and put you in the trades. But can you sit down with TradingView and just start with a blank chart and mark it up and provide logic behind why you think it's going to happen? If I see you do that, that would be such an incredible increase in my confidence, not only in the concepts, but in you. Because I just came to your YouTube channel a month ago, and this would mean a whole lot to me. You know what? When I read that, I said, you know what? That's exactly what I'm looking for. Because that's someone that's saying, I'm interested, but I also respect my own time, and I respect yours as well. You've done a lot already, and if it's something that you'd be willing to do, Michael, I would really appreciate if you would sit down with a blank chart and do that. Well, Manuel, this is my response to that. Now, this is not an invitation to hey, look, ICT's taking requests. No, that's not what this is. What I'm saying is, I know what I'm talking about, and the direction we've been looking for Euro is bullish. We've been looking for it for a while now. We were looking for the dollar to go lower. And it's not a matter of just saying, okay, ICT just points to a level and anybody can do that. Yeah, well, if that's true, more people would be doing it. Second, that's not enough. What do you do between the beginning and the end objective, or the terminus of where you think that price may reach for? What are you looking for? Well, that's conceptual theory. And what things you're looking for is going to be really deeply rooted in your own individual model. I have a lot of entry techniques. I have so many entry techniques that there's no reason for me to worry about missing a move. Because even if the move starts, I know how to get in and still get in such a way where it's very, very low drawdown from Jump Street. For instance, the order block that I outlined here, you extend it out in time. I took it out to noon for a particular reason. I'm not going to outline that here, but I took it to noon because it could come back to that at any time up to noon. And it does so here. Right there. It hits it. Look at the sensitivity there. So if I didn't buy it down here like I was buying it, and if I didn't buy it in this retracement in here, or if I didn't buy it on a run, on a buy stop above here, how many entry techniques is that? That's 3 already. If I didn't buy it there, I could have bought it when it came down into here. There's 4. I could have bought it here on the reclaimed order block. That's 5. All this run up in here, I had 5 opportunities. That's all I'm going to give you here, folks. I'm sorry. But 5 entry concepts right there, all on the setup that I've outlined when it was down here. So think. Isn't it something that would be considered reasonable It's reasonable to ask these mentors out there to do something like this, to outline it, flesh it out. And they don't need to do it forever. They don't need to make it a always happening type thing. But they should sit down and outline it and give a visual representation of what they interpret in the price action and what they don't think is going to occur, because that's what I do too. And that's confidence. That is experience. And here's the other thing. It's insight. Real insight. Not blind luck. Not, oh, here's the opportunity where ICT put this one up today because he was right today. If you think like that and you don't really pay attention to this video, because when I show the playback and I'm typing out all the things that's there, I really want you to chew on that argument. Look at it. Look at what takes place and what does not take place. How I move my stop. Why I'm moving my stop. What's the reasons why I'm doing what I'm doing? Why am I able to hold onto the trade? What am I thinking? What is the things that you are thinking watching the video? Maybe you watched this unfold today. Maybe you took a trade that was opposite to this. Maybe you took this trade and you got out earlier than I did. Those things, I tackle them in the dialogue, because there's going to be moments where you're going to be by yourself and you just can't dial up ICT and get him on the main line. You're going to have to make decisions on your own. And how do you do that? How do you gain confidence to hold the position? How do you do that? I talk about that in this video. Now, some of you probably didn't even hear this because you went scrubbing through because you want to see what this is all about at the end, the last 10 minutes. And you're never going to learn. And I don't mean that to be mean. I don't mean that to be spiteful. I'm just saying that you are never, ever going to learn how to do this if that's how you operate. If you're impatient, I'll just get to the point, ICT. This has been the point. This is why I'm here. I am pouring myself into you because you're doing the same crap that I did in the beginning. You just don't realize it. And I'm trying to make you aware of the things that you're doing incorrectly, the things you're wasting time on, the things that you're doing in these chat rooms. If you're in a chat room and you're looking at other people or asking them questions about stuff they don't even know, does that sound like an intelligent thing to be doing? Think about that, folks. I mean, there are thousands of people sitting around listening to people that have no idea what they're talking about. Zero. If you're learning, this is another reason why I don't have a chat room. Because if I'm doing a chat room, I'm teaching you to be tethered to me. And you can only operate on the things I point to. And that's not what I do. I teach you to be an independent thinker. That is crucial. Because if I spoon feed you, here's a buy, here's a sell, here's your stop, manage it like this. Yay! We make money. What happens if ICT drops dead? God forbid. You're stuck. Your income stream's done. It's over. So what do? You submit the processes that I've outlined. And it's work. It's a lot of work, folks. But if you're in these chat rooms, you are wasting valuable attention and time that you should be doing, like the things I do in this video. If you can backtest, well, let me say it this way. You should be backtesting. You should be doing it like this. You can use the replay function on this thing. It's not as good as like when you're doing a real trade or watching live price action, when you can see the candlestick actually painting and forming, expanding and contracting before the candle closes. The replay feature on this doesn't allow for that, which I'm glad. I'm thankful it doesn't, because then you can see clearly that this really is a trade, and it was managed, and it was a push-to-button event, not something that's happened over here. I took a trade. I'm so sick and tired of these people saying, yeah, I took a trade over here, and they think, I think my trade was somewhere over here. I know where I entered. I know my price. I don't need to, I wonder what's it. No, they are liars. They are liars. And there's so many gullible people out there that will just buy up into that nonsense because they think they're going to get something leaked to them. And the things that get leaked to them just cause more questions. And they're going to spend more time in these chat rooms. What did ICT mean when he says abyssy? And what is flout? these people will never learn because you're listening to people that are blind already. And they're willfully blind because they want to have the cheap seat. They want to do, here, you tell me what I'm supposed to learn instead of them going through the real process. That's why chat rooms are a joke. They're a joke. Now, I'm not saying that there aren't people out there that are running profitable signal services, because in fact, I teach people how to do that in my mentorship and not violate our agreement. There are some out there that are operating profitable chat rooms. I'm certain of it. And not just with my stuff, but with other things, other trading concepts. I'm not trying to say that that isn't valid, that they aren't profitable and their members aren't appreciative of them. I'm just making the point, if you were given the chance to be independent and not have to rely on someone or something like that, wouldn't it be much more favorable for you to be able to make your own paycheck without someone sitting down and saying, here's what we need to be doing? I mean, call me crazy, I don't know, but I like to write my own checks. And I don't want to rely on someone else to tell me when I'm going to be able to get my next scrap of food. And that's one of the reasons why I operate the way I do. I want you to think like an apex predator. You don't apologize. When it's time to eat, you eat. Okay? You don't need someone else to hand feed you. But you have to learn how to hunt on your own. And in the beginning, it's normal for you to be having some hand holding. And it's normal for you to feel like you need to see these types of things. And I'm not offended. I'm absolutely not offended when people ask for this, when it's done with a reasonable measure of respect. But I'm not obligated to sit out here and tap dance for these yahoos that say, oh yeah, ICT did this and did this, but he hasn't done that. Oh, but he hasn't done this, but he won't do this or that. But they're choking on the evidence every time I produce it. They can't answer for this. To them, it's just blind luck. And when you start learning how to do this and you want to tell people that you're doing it, you're going to get the same response. You're not going to get the response that you want. You want people to say, you know what? Pat you on the back. That's a boy. Or that a girl. You're doing awesome. That's not what they're going to tell you, folks. They're going to say, oh, that's crap. Oh, that's luck. Oh, you're not going to learn how to do that consistently. And then how are you going to feel when you do hear that? The event that you just were a participant of, that you felt confident and you want to share your experience with other people, it is awesome. It's great. But guess how much power it has? None. Because you allow someone else's negativity and myopic view and opinion, as useless as it is, to steal your joy and your progress. Because you're looking for outward significance instead of finding inward significance and saying, I have evidence that this works. I'm on the right path. You see the difference there? That's why I talk to you the way I talk to you. That's the reason why I pour myself into you. This is a 10-minute video, and I have been talking forever because this stuff is the more important thing than that 10 minutes of me proving I can do it. And that's why I tell everybody that asks for it all the time, show me a MyFX book. That's always still coming up all the time. So here's what I've already said this before. If I have an MT4 account, okay, and I have 2 of them, and I let my sons practice in them. Now, I'm not going to say what broker. I'm not going to say, because I've had that happen before, and Oanda closed the account on me. I made a point of telling my broker at the time that my son trades it, and they said, well, only one person can operate the account, and it's the person that the account was set up, so they closed the account. Okay, so I don't divulge that anymore. But this question of, MT4, it can't be rigged, it can't be manipulated. Adam Webb from Macro Hedged, you can find him on Twitter. I think he may use that. If not, you can just do a Google and do Macro Hedged, and it'll direct you to them, I'm sure. I don't have Twitter anymore, and I'm not going to create a Twitter account just to contact him. But I have posted on my community tab that I would be willing to pay Adam Webb $2,000, and all he has to do is use the things that he used last year to show the community at large that MT4 can be scammed and all these guys that have rented MT4 servers, which I don't have. I've never done anything like that before. And you can clearly see this is not MT4. Okay. The idea is that MT4, when it's plugged into MyFXBook somehow vets that, and any fraud would be exposed by MyFXBook, and that's not true. Because the MT4 account with a white label server, you can make that look like a real account, and you can literally punch in whatever trades you want. So I'm willing to pay Adam Webb $2,000 for his time just to create some mythological history, and he can use whatever name he wants. I don't want him using mine, but he can make up whatever, John Smith. Let that person be, the pretend account holder, and then put in a trade for 20 trading days. Okay, go in and look at what the real pricing would be. That's why I'm willing to pay $2,000, because he's not obligated. But I would love for him to do that, and then he can take that account and link it to MyFXBook and put it up there and record that. And I would only be asking for the rights to be able to post it on my YouTube channel and not have it monetized. I would not put monetary ads on it. It would just be to answer that question all the time. That's why I've always said MyFXBook is a joke. You don't need that. If someone doesn't know how to trade, you will see that with TradingView. Just have them outline what they think is going to happen in that. And trade history and all that stuff, who cares? I'm not doing signal services. I'm not doing a invest in me scheme, okay? I'm telling you how to find reoccurring patterns and what they look like. And the things I teach repeat. That's what I promise. I promise that. I teach price action. I do not teach live fund trading. My mentorship is not a secret code word for live fund trading instruction. Okay, it's very clear. I do it all the time that this is not what this is. I'm teaching you how to decipher and read price action. What you do with that skill set is entirely up to you. You may want to feel one day to go into live trading, but you've done so on your own. You've made that decision on your own. I never say, all right, go into live funds. People have tried to email me. Hey, Michael, this is what I've been doing. Do you think I should start trading live funds? And I say, what do you think? Smiley face, and that's how I respond. And then there it is. They know I'm not going to be that little push, that nudge, because live trading results in live fund losses. No matter how you slice it, you're going to lose money. How much money? I don't know. How long will it be before you get your first losing trade? I don't know. I just know that that responsibility is something I don't want to have. And I don't have the legal justification or right to be doing that. So that's why I talk about price action only. And I wear the badge of demo baller, and I wear the badge of paper trading with honor, because I am responsible. I am responsible for myself, and I'm being responsible for my students, because you can't hurt yourself while you're learning. Why would you want to play with sharp knives and you've never held a knife before? That's what you're all in a rush. I want to juggle machetes. I want to get out there and juggle double-edged knives. Really? How many fingers you want to lose in the process? Contrast that with juggling dowel rods or tennis balls. It's a lot more safer while you learn the skill of juggling. Now, that's probably a stupid analogy, but you get what I'm saying. It's dangerous, folks. You could really hurt yourself in these markets if you don't know what you're doing. And believing these things like MyFXBook and all that stuff, just sit down with a chart and tell me what's going to happen. Because that'll tell you the whole story. Absolutely, it'll tell you the whole story. If they can't do that, it matters not what their trade history looks like. It matters not what a MyFXBook looks like. It's nonsense. You don't see these people proving theory in a medium like this that everybody has access to. It's simple. It's a very simple process of going through the motions and saying, okay, this is what I think is going to happen in the marketplace, and this is the logic that I use and that I teach, and you can see it in the chart before it happens. And you don't see that. And that is very frustrating for me, because I fell victim to people like that in the 90s. And I bought all their courses and I bought all their books, and none of it resulted in profitable trading. None of it. None of it. over 2,000 books, and it's probably a dozen, if that are just useful. And most of it's money management by Ralph Vince and Ryan Jones, and the things that I got from Alexander Elder's first book only, How to Trade for a Living, and the few texts I have from Larry Williams that I think are still just, I mean, everyone should have them. But everything else is garbage, and I just have a lot of nostalgia by having those books still, and I spent a lot of money, and I just don't want to part from having them. But they're useless by far and large. They're just, and Street Smarts, that's a good book too. And if you want the Bible of retail logic, Technical Analysis of the Financial Markets by John Murphy, and it might have a different title now, but if you have that book, that is the Bible for retail logic. And I turned everything in that book upside down, and there you go. And if you did that, and you understood institutional order flow, here's a drill for you. Study what institutional order flow is. Is the market bullish or bearish? I'm not saying is the bias bullish or bearish. I said, is the market bullish or bearish? And then if it is, go into that book by John Murphy and invert everything he talks about there. And you'll be a profitable trader. Probably in a 90% bracket too. And that's one of the things I did in the beginning. I was like, I'm losing all the time. Every time I was trading commodities, I was losing. You know, in the 90s, I was trying to figure it out. And then one day I said, you know what, I'm doing everything wrong. And as soon as the impulse came for me to be a buyer, this was my first short trade. This is what I did. I said, everything in me says that live cattle is going to go up. And you're all probably thinking, what is live cattle? Live cattle is the futures market for meats. And then you have the feeder cattle market too. But livestock, cattle, basically. I know it sounds odd. Everybody just, trading cryptos and Forex. They're like, you can buy cows? Yeah, that's a commodity market. But everything in my fiber and being said that I was looking at the chart and I felt this overwhelming sense that it's going to go up. And as soon as I had that, I said, you know what? I'm just going to test it. And I'm never going to be able to do this until I start doing it anyway. So I said, I'm going to short it. And I put an $800 stop on it, which is basically 2 cents of a price move on one contract. And it panned out. Like it was like almost zero drawdown. It was literally a couple points from my entry, and then it just was a straight down. And I was so overwhelmed the next day when the market opened up, I just had to get out and open. If I would have held on to it, I would have made even more. And what it taught me was these markets are tainted. And think about it. When you get into trading, it used to be when we opened up an account, they would give you these free books. Here's the basics to trading, and this is the trend line, this is support and resistance, and you see all these things. You're like, oh, wow, this is easy. I can do this. But when you take a step back and say, okay, how many millionaires are there? Where's all the yachts? Right. So if everybody's doing it, and it's so easy, and everybody's doing the same kind of stuff, and it's 90% of them losing, what should you be doing? Well, what's the first thing they do as a new trader? They put too much on a trade. So right away, you should be doing the least amount. Ask yourself, what's the least I could risk? That's where you should start. When you're demo trading and paper trading, what's the least? Because this example that you see in this video, and I know this is a long, drawn-out, talkative video, and I'm probably going to get thumbs down. I don't care. This is stuff that's good. This is good stuff. I wanted to hear this when I was coming up. If I would have heard this, I would have helped myself not have so many painful experiences. But when you first start, you want to be looking at the least you can risk, because that's how you trade and develop and grow into exponential increases in risk. Modularly, step by step. You can't go in and just take on full-on risk because you won't be able to handle it. So you start with the least amount of money in risk, and then you also do opposite of everything else everybody else wants to see happen in the marketplace. And then you have a holy grail. You're going to be doing the opposite of the masses, and you'll be risking far less than they're willing to risk. So by default, what does that really put you in? It puts you in contention to be in the 90% bracket. But nobody feels comfortable doing that because everybody wants to be in the in crowd. What's the chat room saying? They're buying euro. Well, I better be buying euro. I love these chat rooms. I'm haunting them because as soon as they put their charts up, I'm going right into my chart. I'm looking for something that's opposite, and I'm right a lot. It's beautiful. It's almost like, do I give these guys money to trade with to make sure they keep doing it? Like, it's that good. It's that good. So anyway, I said a lot, and I want to kind of bring this part to the close so you can watch the video. It is sped up, but I want you to think about what I do in this video and what I outline and what you see here in price. Everything was before it happened, and I tell you reasons why I do it and why I don't expect certain things to unfold as well. So hopefully you got something out of this. If you didn't, obviously just put a thumbs down. I don't care, but if you got something out of this and you'd like to see things like this, I'm not going to promise it all the time, but when I feel inspired to do it, I'll do it. But there's no reason for anybody to have doubts about what it is I teach, because proof is in the theory. Proof is in the concept, and evidence is shown here. Until I'll talk to you next time, wish good luck and good trading.